Central
Here in Las Vegas, what a thrilling start. UNLV went the field, overshot a potential touchdown, had to settle for a chip shot field goal. Immediately thereafter, Utah State Savon Scarver ties the all-time record with his 7th career kick return for a touchdown, 100 yards. UNLV just settled for a touchback. It begins its second possession. And Charles Williams has space. The chuck wagon can fly. Beats the last safety and Hunter Reynolds, and he's off to the races. One play, 75 yards, and a thrilling start in Las Vegas.
How about that play in the blocks up front? Here it comes. New addition here.
The Rebel Roller just unveiled today. A giant slot machine used in the wake of any UNLV score or turnover forced. And the first to pull the lever is the chuck wagon, Charles Williams. Point after is good. For those of you watching on CBSSports.com, our streaming coverage will conclude after the break, but we will continue on CBS Sports Network. You can find us by going to CBSSportsNetwork.com/channel finder. You have found a whale of a game. You are watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico. What a start we have here. It is a heavyweight fight in terms of the haymakers that have been thrown. A 75-yard touchdown run by Charles Williams right after a 100-yard kick return for a touchdown by Savon Scarver right after an opening drive that resulted in a score.
Yeah, Charles Williams is running the heck out of the ball so far, and just Scarver's 100-yard return was just thrilling. Check this thing out. It's almost a direct shot. 2 good blocks. Once that second block hits, bang, he is gone. And watch the track finish. He's going to break the tape.
So each team has a man gasping for air in the best way possible. And could Scarver see the ball again? This is the game summary so far. UNLV had to settle for a 26-yard field goal make by Daniel Gutierrez. Had overshot an open man for a touchdown. Scarver, the 100-yard kick return for a touchdown, tying the all-time record, his 7th career return for a TD. And it is Gutierrez again to kick, the former walk-on placed on scholarship just before this season.
I never coached special teams, John, but put this on the ground. Make it hard to just catch it and go.
He kicks it away. Again to Scarver, this time from the 1.5. He can't do it again, can he? And he will not. Turned aside at the 20. Andre Grayson tackles him. He only gets 19 on this runback, and Logan Bonner gets his first look at the field. Graduate transfer to Arkansas State, where he played for his head coach at Utah State, Blake Anderson. Made the trip with the head man.
Yeah, he's a quarterback too that this break with the bye week, wow, it really helped him out. He had a pretty bad thigh contusion, affected the knee a little bit. He's feeling a lot better after the rest.
He took a helmet to the leg that left his leg just about entirely black from the bruising. Calvin Tyler Jr. doesn't have a whole lot of space. Excellent job of tackling by Cameron Oliver, the freshman who shined in the bye week. Here's the full lineup for the Aggies, who are top 15 in the country, second in the Mountain West, averaging 491 yards of total offense per game. And swarming defense from UNLV thwarts Tyler again. This time Jacoby Windman led the challenge.
Yeah, we haven't even had a chance to see Devin Tompkins yet. Their biggest weapon.
And there is the defensive front for UNLV. We'll see more 3 down linemen, extra backer today. Their front is very talented. 3rd and 10. Play fake. Bonner, one-footed throw on the run, and he threads the needle. Connects with Derek Wright for the first down as they get 13. Jacoby Windman drags him down. That'll move the chains.
You ever hear that old never throw across your body into the middle of the field, but only if you're going to do it like that. And your guy's wide open. That was a heck of a toss.
One of those no, 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 yes moments.
Yeah. Well, Bonner's a pretty sturdy guy, 6'1", about 230. So he's got that core strength to do something like that.
Here's motion from Tompkins. They fake the sweep and the run. UNLV not baffled in the least. Tyler has no room. He'll lose a yard. There's Windman again, who just makes plays everywhere. He leads UNLV in tackles.
Yeah, 13 Tompkins. He's number 4 in the FBS in total yards. But so far, not too much going on.
2nd and 10, play fake. Bonner. Oh, the quick slant working in a big way. Hooks up with Derek Wright once more. Another first down. Austin Ajike, the middle linebacker, in coverage.
Well, we talk about Bonner feeling a lot fresher. He's got a pretty nice bounce in his step, too, as you see him just gliding back there, and his drop hits his timing pattern really, really right on the money.
22 yards. Elion Noah subs in at running back. Snap a little off. Noah exploring the left side, smashes off first contact. Adam Plant drags him down from behind. He gets a little more than 3, maybe 4. You made a great comparison in warm-ups, Randy, of Logan Bonner to another famed quarterback with Utah ties.
Yeah, it looks like a little thicker version of Jim McMahon with that white headband, that bandana he's got working.
Off the play fake, a force, and it's picked off. Cam Oliver, the freshman. Up the sideline, one defender. It's Tompkins who brings him down. He had to turn DB, and the freshman who got the start gets the big pick to set up a short field.
So the second Rebel who gets to pull the slot machine over on the sideline steps in front of that pass by Bonner. Perfect timing. That's just poaching from that safety / nickelback position. And Oliver does it perfectly.
His second pick. Defensive coordinator Peter Hansen told us he's young, he's instinctive, and he has taken more steps forward than anyone this week, and he would get more time today.
He was sitting back there in the middle. It almost looked like he was watching Tompkins the whole time, and when he saw that ball going towards Tompkins, he just bolted in front of him.
So here's another red zone chance for the freshman Cameron Friel. They had to settle for a chip shot field goal their last time in this territory. It's Williams. Gets a big block, tries to cut it up, and gets cut down. A.J. Vongpachong. He gets about 3. Take a look at our red zone numbers brought to you by Verizon. That's been a trouble for the Rebels on the year.
But today, things have been okay. They got that field goal. That's the whole thing. If you really want an offense to assert itself and learn to be dangerous, this is the #1 part of the field you have to be deadly in. When you get to the red zone, you've got to score touchdowns, not kick field goals.
They go everyone tight. Chad Magyar subs in at running back. 2 tight ends on the left side. And whistles Blair.
The previous play, there might have been a foul for targeting. I've done a further review.
Now that could be rung down from the booth. We get word from referee Christian Watson that replay man Paul Verna is going to take another look.
Yeah, Christian Watson will have to come over to the sideline and have a look at the video screen to see what the guys upstairs are seeing in the way of a targeting on that last play.
Was it on the block by Garcia there?
Well, Garcia kind of lowers his head, and then watch at the very end, part of the tackle that puts Williams on the ground right there by Marcus Moore, 95.
Going into the midsection of Williams.
Yeah, lowering his head doing it. So Garcia, the blocker, the guard, lowers his head right there into the helmet, and then Moore kind of lowers the head into the hip. Now the idea is to get the whole idea of the crown of the helmet out of blocking, out of tack, I mean, as much as possible.
And it looks like it will be Marcus Moore, the transfer out of UCLA that they're looking at, who was third on the team at tackles for loss, honorable mention all-league a year ago, and drew praise from his defensive coordinator, Ephraim Banda, this week that he was penetrating the way they wanted, creating havoc up front.
Getting vertical, right? That was the term Banda used, but if you're going to be that active, and let's be honest, that's a defensive tackle. He's sprinting to the sideline. That's highly admirable. But when you get there, you got to get your head up. You can't use that forehead area or that top of the helmet in a tackle.
After further review, replay found a foul for targeting against Utah State, number 95, for leading with the crown of his helmet. That penalty is tacked on to end the run, and by rule, automatic first down. Number 95 disqualified from the game.
So Marcus Moore, the UCLA transfer, starting defensive tackle, is done for the day for Utah State.
That's pretty big for Utah State. They're thin on the lines as it is.
It probably means more reps for Pokesi Vakauta, who was cited for his own explosiveness. The next men up beyond that have had very limited reps on the season.
But their job's to do the same thing that Moore was doing, and that's to get up the field. As the defensive coordinator Ephraim Banda said, get vertical.
First and goal from the 6, tight end motion. And Williams slithering through, hammered. Oh, what a hit. Drops him after a gain of a yard at the 5. Shaq Bond brought it.
Well, Bond had everybody in front of him kind of taken care of. The offensive line is getting pushed back into the backfield, so they're taking care of that vertical part, the defensive linemen getting in the backfield, and that leaves safeties and linebackers to fill, and Bond just takes Williams' legs away.
Charles Williams out, Chad Magyar back in. Second and goal from the 5. Looking left, rolling right. He's got Magyar underneath. Friel tuck and run, lunges, end zone. Ball free, spotted at the 1.
I think you're going to spot the ball at the 1.
Rolling on the field
before the ball was
by
out.
The offense. Third down, UNLV.
And they do have him down there.
Let's take a look. They'll look at it upstairs.
That was Bond helping to knock it loose.
I don't know about that. John, do you see anything about being down in this whole process? That ball's coming out.
His knees are up.
As he's diving for the end zone, that ball is knocked loose. That was a fumble.
So here's third and goal from the 1. Williams is back. Looked like movement up front. Williams into the end zone. Touchdown, UNLV. Second score of the day for Williams, who had 3 on the season entering this game.
Yeah, this offense loves that chuck wagon. He can run.
Sportsmanlike conduct, taunting, UNLV number 4. That 15-yard penalty, of course, on the kickoff. Touchdown, UNLV. That's number 4 on first on sportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
So unsportsmanlike on Steve Jenkins, the wide receiver. Remember, if you get 2 unsportsmanlikes, as UNLV's offensive lineman Julio Garcia did in their last game, you are ejected. And Gutierrez for the point after. And Gutierrez drills it.
If you're UNLV, you keep an eye on Tompkins. You get a chance, you jump in front of it. If you're Oliver, that gets you close, and then the short run gets you in.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Verizon. 5G built right. And by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. What's your beef?
Some UNLV legends. Randall Cunningham won 11 games his senior year, went on to become a 4-time Pro Bowler and threw for nearly 30,000 yards in his NFL career. UNLV owns this game early, and here's the chip shot, a little squibber. Has to go to Tompkins inside of his own 30. Scarver helps to block, and Tompkins gets solid field position up to about the 41, make it the 42. What did we see, though, when the ball came free on the last possession for the Rebels?
Well, the first thing you have to look at is the fact that the ball came out the way it did, which absolutely, but Balloon Guy, the backup tight end, got in there and recovered that fumble on right about the 1-yard line. That's why that ball was planted on the 1.
So Logan Bonner.
See, here's the ball coming out. So that was clearly a fumble. And coming from the back, the tight end sees that, number 19, they're right there on the ground, and he recovers that ball. That's why UNLV had the ball where it was.
Late press coverage shown by the Rebels near side. Motion from Terrell. And the run game has had very little. Calvin Tyler will be pushed back. He loses a couple of yards. UNLV's front has been strong. Naki Faina led the charge there.
I mean, Noah Williams, bottom of the screen, is the cornerback, number 2 for UNLV. He's their best kind of cover guy, especially in this press. But if you see this, Bonner should go to it and test it if he's got man, which he does at the bottom.
Tyler goes out wide. Bonner locked right, checking down over the middle. Dangerous ball, and he threads the needle again. Finds Tompkins, who takes a hard shoulder, but breaks the plane to midfield as Whitman drops him after he picks up a first.
Yeah, Bonner, I mean, Tompkins not a big guy. He's 5'8", about 155 pounds. He's got. But how about that short area, that quickness? When he gets that ball in his hands, he's a blur.
Play fake to Tyler, fake a reverse look, flip it out to Tompkins. Stutter step, man, Winman. He's a huge man, but his body control and his shake is superior.
Yeah, he had a lot of company back there. That's 4 or 5 defenders making sure Tompkins wasn't going to gain any more yards. You see the work he's done so far in 2021, 4 touchdowns, matching those 19 numbers already.
He leads the Mountain West, 4th in all the FBS in receiving yards per game. Elion Noah has subbed in, who entered today with 1 carry but 30 catches. More of a blocker and a pass catcher. Play fake, Bonner stepping up. Trying to run, has no room, ball free. UNLV says it has it.
Logan Bonner sacked on the play.
Naki Faina helped to knock it loose, and Utah State able to recover.
Yeah, Faina gets that left hand on there and just slaps it out.
Time for you to take over the offense. It's 3rd down.
It's clearly recovered there by Dolphin, the center.
So they stack 3 wide, bottom near left. Bonner looking that way. Threw it a little behind his target, but able to come back and make the grab. Brandon Bowling, a grad transfer out of Arkansas State, gets 15 and a first.
Well, that was a pretty adjustment, because that's going full speed and suddenly having to stop and twist back to catch that ball, and then keep your hands underneath it and not let the ball contact the ground, which did a really nice job doing that.
McGriff subs out, Scarver in. Utah State did tell us this week they're trying to find touches for Scarver in the offense. He had been banged up start of the year. Funky formation here. Scarver in motion. Gets fed. And on the sweep, gets past the first wave and earns about 9. Tripped up by Winman.
I love that creativity by Blake Anderson and his staff, because, you know, let's be honest, John. I mean, you get a guy that can return the ball like he can, like Scarver can. You've got to get the ball in his hands.
Play fake. Taking a shot on 2nd and 1. Tompkins, go up and get it. And he is down at the 3. It's 1st and goal, a 23-yard grab.
That was a gimme touchdown. The pass wasn't where it should have been. I mean, Tompkins does a nice job of laying out and catching it. You hit him on the run, it's 6.
Scarver has press, bottom near left.
Question is, can UNLV make them kind of pay for that off throw? Hold them to a field goal here.
Utah State sub 50% touchdown in the red zone. Noah on the plunge, only a yard. Gets to the 1. Stopped there by Austin Ajike.
Yeah, ideally in that red zone touchdown percentage, you want to get it in that 70-ish, 75%. Both these teams are right at 50 or below it.
Right back to Noah, lost the ball. And he gets pushed back. Ajike again. He'll lose about a yard.
So far, look at the job that the red jerseys are doing getting in the backfield of Utah State's. That's that vertical press. That's that playing the game on the other guy's side of the line. That's what Bonda, their defensive coordinator, wants to see from Utah State, but UNLV's doing it too now.
Using a lot of time here, play clock at 7. They're going to have to call a timeout. They can't get everything in. Yes, Blake Anderson up the sideline, hand signals timeout. Well, they'll talk it over. 3rd and goal.
Take their first charge
A 17-7 UNLV lead. Start your football Sunday with our Tops crew. They'll get you set for all the NFL Week 6 action. That other pregame show tomorrow morning, 8 Eastern on CBS Sports Network. UNLV head man Marcus Arroyo in season number 2, looking for his first win. His Rebels 0-5, 0-1 in league play, but a 2-score advantage that sits in some peril. Utah State knocking on the door. 3rd and goal from the 2. What are you looking for?
I think it's critical that you hold Utah State here and make them kick a field goal. I think old school power football out of Utah State.
Calvin Tyler, the deep back, gets fed. Tyler using that push. Tyler turned away by Windman, and he is stopped at the 1.
What a play by Windman, because it looked like he was going to walk in. Just taking him sideways and pushing him away from the goal line. Man, that is some goal line defense there.
Offense on the field. Do you agree with this?
In this game, as frenetic as it is, yeah.
They've already called a timeout just before that 3rd down try. Here's 4th and goal from the 2.
Plenty of time, John. 18 seconds. No reason for Bonner to go crazy.
And we have hit the end of the quarter. You are watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico. 4th and goal when we're back for the 2nd. UNLV defensive coordinator Peter Hansen told us this week, we need more pressure. Taking risks is on my shoulders. We've got to take some shots. It's 4th and goal. The offense on the field for Utah State. They have been ultra aggressive and successful on 4th down this year. What do you think?
Well, if they spread them out again like they did on that last play, you know, your first instinct is, hey, they're just going to assert themselves and they're going to smash the ball. Well, smash the ball kind of went out in college football a few years ago. They spread them out the way they were, and this is all tight. This just screams smash the ball. If they throw it, it's to a tight end.
And Bonner loses it. He fumbles the snap. He has to fall upon it. He loses half a yard, and UNLV holds on 4th and goal from the 1.
Think back to that pass by Bonner to Tompkins. That Tompkins had to dive and catch, which meant he had to land short and not get in for an easy touchdown. UNLV is able to make them pay for that missed pass. And the ball snaps right off the hands of Bonner. didn't look to be like a separated thing. Just looked like it just bounced right off the quarterback's hands.
Now Utah State is without Falepule Alo, whose hand got banged up pretty good, according to head coach Blake Anderson. Chandler Dolphin, who did start the first 2 games of this year, he is serving as center today. Now very long distance for UNLV. Snap out of the end zone and a formation change with Friel out of the pistol. And they get only a yard or so.
Well,
Make it a couple.
They're starting to sneak up on 120 yards rushing already, and you know Cameron Friel's done a fairly decent job so far. But hey, this has all been about Charles Williams, the running back. When you're backed up like this, get a first down, run the ball, bang it out of the end zone.
Press on the outside, play fake, bad ball off Kyle Williams' hand. He had to turn almost DB there.
Well, the way he reached back and hit that thing, he's lucky he didn't go straight up in the air to where a defensive back could have caught it. Now it's 3rd and 9. Utah State is going to come after the quarterback here. Friel can count on pressure. I'd give it to Williams, let him bang it out. I know it's repetitive, but
trying to get Utah State to jump. Play clock down to 5. Rice showing blitz, clean up the middle. He holds back. Friel fires, finds Zion, his tight end, who stumbles. Then the contact comes. He gets hit by Johnny Carter, the striker hybrid backer, and they're going to have to punt.
now you're set up. Now you're in a position where your offense, if you're Utah State, is going to get some pretty good field position. You're down 17-7. We've already seen they've got some pretty good returners and a really good return blocking schemes.
Evan Silva on the punt. Jordan Nathan, the punt return man. From the 44, Jordan Nathan stood up and veered out of bounds, but in UNLV territory. He gets about 19 on the return. Tomorrow, 2 Eastern. Don't miss a fierce face-off. The playoff-bound North Carolina Courage battle the legendary Carly Lloyd and Gotham FC right here on CBS Sports Network. Mistakes have piled up for the visiting Aggies of Utah State today.
This whole pace of this game has been extremely frenetic, but if there's two things that these teams both share, one is they've made some mistakes and the other team has made them pay for it, whether it's been an interception or near fumble recoveries and then fumbles on 4th down there by Bonner. That was a big one. But also Bonner not hitting Tompkins in stride on that pass. That would have been an easy touchdown.
Bonner was mostly brilliant when they started 3-0. Won at Washington State, beat North Dakota, won at a then receiving votes Air Force team. And in their recent losses, not as clean. Windeman brings pressure. The delayed handoff to Gentry, getting his first look. John Gentry turned aside by Windeman. He'll lose a yard. The first 2 possessions for Utah State. To your point, Randy, Logan Bonner at Arkansas State playing for Blake Anderson had 30 touchdowns against 9 interceptions. He's now got 9 touchdowns against a Mountain West high 7 picks this year.
Yeah, on both sides, John, neither coach has to be happy with the accuracy of these quarterbacks.
Play fake to Gentry, didn't sell it great. Bonner, deep shot, wide open target. In stride, he hits him this time. Touchdown, Utah State. Devin Tompkins goes 37 yards.
How far was he open by? About 4 yards? I mean, Tompkins just blazed out there. And Bonner missed him in the first quarter. He didn't miss him in the second quarter. Hit him perfectly on stride.
He burns Aaron Lewis. Tompkins, his team leading 5th touchdown grab. So now Connor Cole's the point after to try to make it a field goal game. Connects. 20-yard punt return set up a shorter field. And Devin Tompkins, one of the elite wideouts in the Mountain West, makes it rain. College football presented by Geico on CBS Sports Network. Field goal game. Devin Tompkins, a 37-yard touchdown grab to cap off the very short drive. We have seen many explosive plays on both sides today.
We sure have, and I know Coach Arroyo from UNLV had to know that was coming. That was the perfect spot to take that big shot, and Utah State did exactly that.
Now, UNLV has lost 11 in a row. The last win came at the end of November 2019. And is tied for the second longest active losing skid in the FBS. UConn won today, beat Yale out of the FCS in the Ivy, the first win for the Huskies in 722 days. And a fair catch made. So UNLV's got the ball, and Charles Williams has had a big day.
Yeah, how about him so far? Up front, they're doing a really nice job of blocking. But Williams is getting some air to run in, and he's aired it out when he's gotten that air. I mean, the blocking's great, the shoulders are great, and he's even getting the 702 when he pulls the slot machine over there.
He's also one of the good guys in the game and a very smart young man, receiving accolades from multiple organizations for his work in the classroom and off the field. Pressure comes, and Williams runs into the clutches of Kevin Metzenheimer and gets about a yard.
We're just in the early days or early minutes of the second quarter, and Williams already has his 1,300-yard rushing game.
That's his third of the year. What's your feel for Cameron Friel at quarterback for UNLV?
I think the future is Williams running the ball, not so much Friel throwing the ball, because the accuracy is just not there so far. It's been very wild.
And here is Charles Williams, who has some space and shiftiness, keeps his balance, and earns an extra couple. Shouldered out of play at around the 40, gets about 15 yards. Philip Paella helps him out of play. That'll be another first down.
That's the problem. If you only get one side of your defense getting that penetration that Ephraim Bonda, the defensive coordinator for Utah State, wants, one side penetrates, the other side doesn't. That leaves a gaping hole right in the middle.
And you can see Bonda hand signaling from the sidelines. Program's 5th defensive coordinator in 5 years. Magyar subbed in as the deep back. Play fake. Checks it down, one-on-one, incomplete. Looking for Kelanahe Mendiola Jensen.
He got a pretty nice little block up there from the blitz. That bought him another second or two, but you know, the bottom line is Friel has got to sort of tone it down a little bit on some of these short throws. And yeah, he got hit, but you know what? This just in. Quarterbacks get hit. You got to be accurate with the ball. And right now he's overthrowing the ball.
They had shown empty. That's Courtney Reese, who motions into the backfield, their third running back. Friel, back-footed throw, flag flutters. He found Reese, who did not go down. He was able to catch himself with his right hand, and he sprints out of it. Chipped down just beyond the 40 in Utah State territory by Zahadri Jackson. 23 yards as it stands, but that flag came at the line.
The flag.
Offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Yeah, that flag came from our referee, right in the back, coming from the right side. And that's a prime no-no for an offensive lineman on a screen pass. You're going to let rushers go anyway. Never, ever, ever hold on a screen. Let them go, let them run. Don't hold on a screen.
Davion McDaniel, transfer from FCS Charleston Southern. Penalties have been an issue at times this year for each of these teams at different junctures. Some confusion for Utah State, and it looks like they hand signal a new defense in. Nick Henniger relays the communication. Safety fades deep. Magyar off the first two hitters, third man in. Helps him out of bounds. Jackson.
Nice job by Magyar, basically buying himself an extra 5 yards there, bouncing off a couple of tacklers.
So he got 8. Here's 3rd and 12. What works here?
Whatever it is, it's got to be a measured, cool, calm, accurate throw.
Friel just got that throw off. He forces it into heavy traffic.
Awful lot of contact over there.
Michael and Yanwu and Steve Jenkins were tangled up on the sideline.
Well, they're getting there. Friel's lucky that ball didn't get slapped out there at the very end, just before he threw it.
Logan Bonner off the play fake, taking a shot. Right back to Tompkins. His 3rd grab of the day. They've all gone for chunks, and again, he attacks Aaron Lewis, 27 yards.
Yeah, if you're going to play and you're going to soften up a little bit against Tompkins, he is going to absolutely kill you running in between these zones. Nice throw there by Bonner behind the linebackers in front of the DBs.
Gentry getting another look, and he gets a big gap of about 6. Adam Plant trips him up at the 35. We're seeing more Gentry, not as much Calvin Tyler the last couple of possessions. Fake lock left side. Dangerous ball, nearly intercepted. In and out of the hands. Devon Walden Jr.
Had a little contact there. Receiver sort of halted up, got stuffed a little bit. Bonner was anticipating having his guy being right there where he threw it. Not even close.
Are you seeing impact from this UNLV D-line?
Not as much as their defensive coordinator would like to see, that's for sure.
3rd and 4.
Hansen wants to see penetration.
Gentry running out of the first ankle tackle, gets a little more than a yard. Tavis Malakias helped drag him down. What do you do here on 4th down?
Personally, I think you try to see if you can't draw him off first, then you punt it. Or you kick a 52-yarder, but I think the punt sounds like a little bit more reasonable.
Connor Coles did hit a 52-yarder against BYU. Offense on the field, 4th and 2. They snap the ball, play fake. Bonner flushed, he throws, caught the stretch. Where do they have the spot? That is a catch. And short for Carson Terrell with Jacoby Windman there in coverage to bring him down.
A good, healthy yard short. Didn't run it, went with the play action. Defensive coordinator Peter Hansen's defense reacts just perfectly and then snuffs them and denies them. Really nice job being physical on the outside at the end of that play.
Tomorrow, the NFL on CBS comes your way. Another double dip, 9:30 in the a.m. in London. Dolphins, Jags. Early afternoon, Chiefs of the Washington football team or Chargers, Ravens. Later, Dak and the boys hit the road to battle with Belichick and the Patriots. It all starts with the NFL today at 9 a.m. and again at 12:30. Tomorrow, the NFL is on CBS. UNLV's offense on the field. Charles Williams, the deep back, having himself a day. Fake a toss, Friel flushed, forces a throw, hammering hit. That is a catch for a yard, but Justin Rice had pressure in the backfield, and Friel a little slow getting up as we look at their first 5 possessions.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy times the first 3 possessions of UNLV. It was Charles Williams on a long 75-yard run. A turnover and a quick score, then punt. Running game hasn't been as effective the last couple of possessions.
Now the toss to Williams. There was very little space. Swarm tackling there. A.J. Vongpachong part of the pressure. Patrick Joyner there as well. So here's a 3rd and long, and UNLV just 2 of 5 on 3rd down with a slight pass attack.
Yeah, you can't hesitate and sort of go sideways against a fast defense like this from Utah State. Utah State's defense is quick. They will do some crazy things, and Coach Bonda is a heck of a defensive mind. When you pursue like that, you start second guessing and going sideways, you're going to get smacked.
On 3rd and 10, Friel steps up, hit as he throws, and he finds his target. First down on a smooth toss, perhaps his best of the day, as he hooks up with Kyle Williams. They get 22, Shaq Bond and Cash Gilliam the stop.
Yeah, the pressure, the fact that he's going to take that shot doesn't affect him. He steps right into the throw and delivers that thing right on the numbers for Williams.
Friel started against UTSA 2 weeks ago in the Rebels' last game. Threw for 300. First Rebel to do that in 3 years. But he got sacked 6 times, 2 picks, and a lost fumble. Williams trying to sidestep, able to get past that first wave. He is physical and creative, and somehow turns a loss of 1 into a gain of 2.
John, he was making people miss 2 yards in his own backfield. Pretty amazing at any point that he ended up gaining 2 yards on this play, because he makes 3 Aggies miss before the tackler finally gets them, that brings them down.
Quarterback change here. Tate Martell is in, Friel is out. What do we look for?
More of a run out of Martell. Of Ohio State and Miami.
Magyar and Williams alongside. And Martell faking to Williams, tries to keep. Doesn't get a whole lot. Stuffed right there at the 45. No gain, 3rd and 8.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on the sideline and you're the defensive coordinator, Bonda, for Utah State, you're thinking exactly that when you see Tate Martell. You've got your guys zeroing in on the run. Martell's in there to be a change of pace.
Friel is back. Courtney Reese alongside. Late personnel change for Utah State. 3rd and 8. Friel checking down. Pressured, hit as he throws again and again. He finds his target. This time Ziel Griffin. Good job by Hunter Reynolds to hold on and bring him down, but all the way at the 21, a gain of 25. Flag down back at midfield.
That's right in the area where Friel was hit as he was thrown.
Personal foul, tripping, offense, number 74. 15-yard play from the previous spot. It remains 3rd down.
That goes on Julio Garcia, the left guard.
Major infraction will move the football back to the 40-yard line.
That happened right there in the middle. That was his man that was getting that hit on Friel, and he was tripped on the way to the quarterback.
3rd and 23.
Oh, that's a huge personal foul. They had converted to move the chains, and instead it's now 3rd and 23.
You mean the non-existent chapter of your playbook?
Yeah,
what do you run on 3rd and 23? Something you run on 3rd and 10 and hope they run 13.
Tip ball. Byron Vaughns, he might have been thinking touchdown there.
Yeah, that was definitely a forward pass when it was thrown, but it didn't look to be too far off of getting snagged. Oof. That'll make a coach and a quarterback's heart skip a beat when that ball goes up in the air like that and a D lineman hits it.
The Texas transfer makes contact. Jordan Nathan ready to return. A little more than 5 minutes. Utah State with 2 timeouts. UNLV is all 3.
Nice return last time, Nathan. About 20 yards.
Silva's kick. Nathan let it bound, hops out of play just beyond the 15. field goal game. Aggies and Bonner on the prowl.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Cooper Tire. Go with the Coopers. By PNC Bank. Changing how you handle overdrafts with low cash mode. And by the Sonic Grilled Cheeseburger. For a limited time, only at Sonic.
The spectacular Fertitta Complex opened in October of 2019. 73,000 square feet of the state-of-the-art headquarters for the football program. And the Rebel Roller unveiled today. It comes out for scores or turnovers.
There are a lot of things about this program, this city, this stadium that should be huge selling points for high school football players to come to a place like UNLV.
Calvin Tyler is back. Play fake. Bonner, another deep shot. Go up and get it. Devin Tompkins has been leaping all over the field for impactful grabs. He gets 10 and a first down. No Williams the stick.
Well, he's 5'8", so you know he's got some ups, because that thing was up there pretty good, and he just gets up there and gets it in his chest.
Run game has been non-existent for Utah State. They're going to lose yards here. They've got 16 carries for barely more than 20 yards. UNLV on 15 carries has 134.
Yeah, Peter Hansen, their defensive coordinator, has to be really happy with the push that this front seven, especially the front three guys, the three down linemen, are getting against this offensive line of Utah State's.
2nd and 12. Tompkins in motion. Play fake. Bonner. Pocket collapsing. A lob. One-on-one. Tompkins lips, and he makes the grab again. Oh, a spectacular catch. He went up and won it from Phillip Hill. They go over the top, and they're in UNLV territory. Another first down.
Well, that's what happens when only one guy sees the ball. The DB never gets a chance to look at it, Hill, and Tompkins goes over the back of him and catches the ball off his helmet.
31 yards. Apologies, the mics will pick up the color of the sideline. Edge pressure shown by UNLV. Stiff arm. Tyler trying to stretch it out, stretch down. Jacoby Windman can play. Loss of a yard.
That saved UNLV at least 20 yards. Because if Windman doesn't make that play, doesn't make that tackle, that is going to cost the Rebels.
Utah State likes to play with tempo. What's been your feel of their tempo today?
Erratic. Not a whole lot of real tempo.
Bonner fires to a leaping Derek Wright. Another first down. They get 18. Cameron Oliver in coverage.
The one thing there has been, John, not much tempo, but Logan Bonner has settled down and really gotten some accuracy on his throws in the middle of this field.
Bonner goes right sideline again to Tompkins. He had a stride on Noel Williams, and he was hit in stride. That'll be 13. Another first down.
Another great pass, accurate. Another example of only one guy really seeing it coming. That was Tompkins. Good grab.
Motion. Delayed handoff. Tyler swings it right. Flags out. He gets stood up. Pairing of Bryce Jackson and Noel Williams.
That's another in that area of holding and tripping. We've already seen that a couple times today.
Offense, number 72. 10-yard penalty. No first down.
That goes on Alfred Edwards, the left tackle, but the fill-in right tackle playing in his first career game, Cole Motes, seems to be in pain. He is slow to get up.
Yeah, he gets impacted from the backside, sort of rolled into the side of his leg. That's why he's down.
We'll take a 30-second break, and we'll be right back. 17-14, UNLV trying to snap the second longest active losing streak in the FBS. Has the lead. Aggies on the drive. They'll lose Cole Motes for at least a play, playing in his first career game and starting at right tackle.
Yeah, and Logan Bonner has really got it going on right now throwing the ball, but Utah State cannot afford to lose a lineman. And they got to hope it's only for one play, maybe two max.
Bonner 4 of 4, 73 yards on the drive. Tyler goes out. They thought he was going to go to the sideline. Massive miscommunication after that long injury delay, or is he just relaying the play information? Quazell White is at right tackle. They get it off with 1 second on the play clock. Bonner into triple coverage, knocked free.
Now there's something we haven't seen here in a few passes, and that's a contested pass. Good job defensively by UNLV, seeing the ball, closing on the ball, stripping the ball, and knocking that ball out of there. Good job by Jackson.
Bonner has been excellent on the drive. Second down and 20. They can get a first down at the 5. Play fake. Bonner, dangerous ball over the middle, knocked free.
Hit that. It was ruled a no catch, but man, it sure looked like he caught that ball, then got it knocked out.
And they also took out our umpire in the process.
Yeah, remember, no pads, no helmets. The umpire right here in the bottom of the screen.
That's John Schindler.
That's not even looking, not even expecting it. No way to expect it. He gets hit from the side. Again by Jackson, who made that nice play on the next to last play.
And it looks like he's coming off the field here. How does this impact play?
Rebel fans, we need you. Your Rebel defense is asking for chaos.
With Schindler out, how does that impact?
They rotate things in. They've got extra guys. They'll rotate.
Bunch trips left. 3rd and 20. And movement on the right side. Remember, that's where Motes had left with injury. And Wade Meacham, 79, along with Quazell White, 51.
Snap infraction. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. Main 3rd down.
There it is. See, Dolphin, the center, semi-snapped it and thought better of it, but you move the ball like that, that's going to do it. That's a 5-yard penalty.
And that also means if you held the current line of scrimmage, you're looking at a 47-yard field goal. Bonner pressured, steps up, flags out. He throws, caught by Tompkins.
Holding.
Noel Williams lassos him down inside of the 10, but all those flags in the backfield.
Offense, number 74. 2-yard penalty. Main 3rd down.
It goes on the center in Dolphin.
Yeah, Dolphin has the offsides. Hard for the center to be offsides, but look at that. I mean, that's a sideways tackle that turns into a back tackle with a little bit of a grab. So that was a hold.
Well, these penalties have basically destroyed field goal range to tie the game. Connor Coles is hit from as long as 52. Granted, we're in a dome, but current line of scrimmage would be 57. It's 3rd and 35.
Yeah, you need a strong 10 yards here to even make it a consideration.
A prevent defense from UNLV. UNLV not using a timeout.
Plenty of time on the play clock.
They go all the way down, and Utah State calls timeout. Aggies have 1 left. And they just wanted to milk some clock there, it would appear.
Yeah, give UNLV as little time as possible if they do get the ball back here at the end of the half.
Coming up, the Verizon halftime report. Brent Stover, Kevin Carter, Tiki Barber will break down this game, get you caught up on other key action around the country. It all heads your way on the Verizon halftime report. So UNLV has 3 timeouts. Utah State has 1. 1:22 to go until halftime. UNLV trying to snap an 11-game skid, trying to find its first win of the year. What are we looking for in 3rd and 35?
Well, we've seen this offense in full reverse the last few plays with the offsides and the holding penalty. Before that, you know, Bonner's been very accurate, has been throwing the ball well. Got to be honest, Friel has come around too in the last couple of possessions for UNLV. So if they get the ball back, they've got plenty of time with 1 timeout. But here, you get something down around the Mountain West logo on the 25-yard line, right around the 25.
Anthony Tucker called in the plays. Bonner swings it out to Tompkins. Not a lot of numbers in his favor. Gets veered out of bounds just inside of the 35. Make it the 34. 4th down. They've gone for it on 4th down twice and failed. This is 4th and 30, and the offense is on the field.
Well, that's not a commitment to your kicker, but more of a commitment to taking a chance. And UNLV is going to call a timeout here, or is Utah State calling the timeout?
30 seconds.
This is what Utah State has done on 4th down tries today.
Yeah, that fumble down there by Bonner. That 4th down play right there that didn't get the 1st down. You had a fumble on 4th down. You had a ball that didn't get a 1st down. Anderson can go in at halftime, and they've got some stuff to clean up.
Entering tonight, all 10 of their successful 4th down conversions eventually led to scores. Blake Anderson told us, in truth, they were 10 of 15. One time they went for it on a very bad fake punt try that went off the rails something fast. But UNLV burns one of its own timeouts here, Randy. Why?
Yeah, I really don't know, because in this situation, I don't see why Utah State's not punting right here. This is 4th and forever.
Well, they've got one-on-one on the field near right side. Out of frame right now is Tompkins. He is on an island. They need to get to the 5 for a 1st down.
They're hoping, I guess, for a jump off sides, or under 5 seconds on the play clock. Not going to snap it. Going to take the 5 yards back and punt it.
Prior to the play clock expiring.
And so that
they did
move,
call a timeout.
30 seconds.
And that poker move did, along the way, force UNLV to burn a timeout. So now you still have 4th and 30 to come. There still hasn't been a true definition yet exactly what's coming here. And Stephen Constantly now jogs out. And Connor Coles is there to try a field goal. He is attempting from 52 to tie his career high that he hit against BYU last game a couple of weeks ago. Coles looking to tie the game. Connor Coles. No good. UNLV has the lead, now has the ball with 1 minute and 12 seconds and 2 timeouts.
Well, you got to file that one away, too, if you're UNLV. I know he's got the 52-yarder, or has had one that long. But he hits this one pretty good, and it just barely gets to the goalpost itself. So his range today may be about 48 yards, not 52 yards.
Oh, Marcus Arroyo's offense out of the field. What are you looking for? What's the message?
Well, I commented earlier about how much better Friel was throwing the ball. Keep throwing that ball well. Don't make it available to Utah State, either by a bad pass or a fumble.
Friel pressured. Flag out. Throws, and he's hit incomplete, short of Kyle Williams. Nick Henniger was in the backfield.
Probably holding.
We do have a penalty flag in the backfield.
And indeed a hold.
Holding. Offense, number 74. 10-yard penalty. Man's first down.
That's another penalty on guard Julio Garcia.
Back to the 25-yard line.
The left guard had the could have called hands in the face on the very early effort on that pass block, the way he slammed the defender in the face like that. I've seen that called before, but the grab as the defensive end came by on the stunt was what was called the hold.
A run with Williams on 1st and 20. Charles Williams slips out of the hit, carries Henniger with some help from Jalen Bannerman, gets about 6.
Well, the yards after contact today for Williams has been pretty impressive. You know, even on some of his big runs, people have had a chance to tackle him, but haven't had the ability to get him down.
2nd and 14. Friel, dangerous ball, nearly intercepted. In and out of the hands of Ajani Carter.
That's a good example of what I said earlier about making that ball available to the defense. If you're a quarterback in this situation, there's no sin in putting it in the ground. There's no sin in putting it in the second row. The sin is letting the defense get their hands on it.
UNLV 3 of 7 on 3rd down, 2 timeouts, 3rd and 14. Toss play to Charles Williams. Hurdles a man.
Williams, the ball carrier.
Henniger helped bring him down. It'll be 4th down at about 11 here.
Cash Gilliam.
Utah State has no timeouts.
And UNLV is heading to the locker room. They're going to go in here at halftime and figure out how to get things rolling in the second half.
Now, Utah State had won the toss and deferred. Aggies will have the ball to begin the second. But Marcus Arroyo's Rebels have the lead at halftime, trying to snap the second longest active losing streak in major college football. It's the end of the first half. After the break, Brent Stover and the gang in New York, the Verizon Halftime Report. It's college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico. Welcome on back to Las Vegas. UNLV, the halftime lead. Utah State will have the ball as the second gets underway. John Sadak alongside the College Football Hall of Famer, 3-time Super Bowl champ, and Randy Cross. Randy, what stood out to you from that wild first half?
Just exciting plays, and the two guys that made the most exciting plays in this whole thing, besides Scarver in that return, were Charles Williams and his running, 100 and some odd yards total. This one a 75-yard touchdown run that he had. Then another score for a touchdown. But what Devin Tompkins has done catching the ball, Bonner's done some really nice, thrown some nice passes, gotten the ball to him on a bomb, and threaded it to some other nice spots.
First half stats brought to you by Midas. Rush yards, a huge disparity.
Yeah, that's Williams on one side, and then the pass yards, 223. A lot of those yards are to Tompkins. So The one thing that really jumps out is Utah State, which almost seems wrong, has no turnovers. But they fumbled the ball to themselves 3 times.
Oh, here's a chance for Scarver. He broke one for 100 in the early stage of the game. And Scarver shepherded out of bounds by Gutierrez, the kicker. Able to high step as he gives his team outstanding field position.
Scarver on the return.
Wow, that kid is so dangerous when he catches the ball.
Out to the 40-yard
And don't
line.
underestimate that ability. The ability to catch a ball being kicked and then run as fast as you can at a group of people running at you as fast as they can. I mean, it's a special kind of player that can make those kind of plays.
Why did they kick to him for a third time?
I don't know. If you're lucky, it's this kind of field position, if you're lucky.
Well, Bonner, who threw a pick, give to Tyler, who squirts through. And the dormant run game springs to life. Bryce Jackson drags him down. Flag down.
Yeah, right over there over the right side.
Personal foul. Horse collar tackle. Defense. Number 44.
That'll add.
That 15-yard penalty added to the run. An automatic. First down.
Goes on Kyle Beaudry.
Yeah, grabbed him by the front and the back. Again, that's one of those safety issues. I know a lot of football fans kind of have issues with some of these plays that are called and penalties, but it's about safety.
Cole Motes is back at right tackle. Tyler, no space. He gets thrust back. Jacoby Winneman there, along with Austin Ajike.
Yeah, that's been the defensive eraser is Windeman. And what he's done, some of the plays that he has made.
First half pick, turnover on downs, touchdown, turnover on downs, field goal. Off a play fake, Bonner flips it out, off target for Tyler.
That was backwards, wasn't it? That should be right there where the coach is standing, where Arroyo is standing.
And Arroyo is pointing, claiming exactly that.
That was not lateral. That ball is thrown from the 35 and out of bounds at about the...
There should be a loss of about a yard, right?
Yeah, I thought it was back a yard back. I was lucky.
Right on through, Calvin Tyler Jr. refusing to yield. His 2 biggest runs of the day come out of the gate to begin the second half. First and goal at the 8.
Well, here's the difference between grabbing and tackling. There are 3, 4, 5 grabs and finally 1 tackle. And grabs usually lead to many yards.
Spot him at the 6. They've been to the red zone. The Verizon red zone. Bonner on the roll, fires wide open, Tompkins, end zone, touchdown. And the Aggies take the lead, the second TD connection of the day between Bonner and Tompkins.
Nice play by Tompkins. Tompkins runs down, runs a little out, and the UNLV defenders kind of take each other out. One drops to the middle, one drops towards the guy going to the middle, and Tompkins went outside and easily got himself 6 points.
Now Utah State takes the lead. And Coles makes sure a field goal cannot tie it. Devin Tompkins having himself a huge day. His second score. And Utah State ahead on college football, presented by Geico.
Yeah.
21-17, Utah State the lead. That scoring drive, they had 21 yards rushing in the first half, 39 that drive, and the payoff was the touchdown grab by Devin Tompkins.
Who was wide open. And how's he get that wide open? There he is right there. Watch these three right here. Not much of a complicated route, huh? Both defenders kind of take each other out. That wasn't even, I guess the intent sometimes is to run a pick, but when they pick themselves, you don't have to worry about it.
Tompkins has been unstoppable. Elliott Nimrod, the kick. No Williams from his 5. And knocked down at around the 22. What did UNLV do with the ball in the first half?
A lot of punts at the end. Early on, had some action going on. That action was Charles Williams running the ball. That's what they have to get back to. They're not going to have the spectacular offense. Their spectacular offense is running the ball.
And there is a downed Aggie. Athletic trainers on the field.
It looked like Patrick Maddox, the outside linebacker, number 30. That's him right there.
It was Daniel Godfrey, the tight end, that ran into Maddox. So with great assistance off the field, now the Rebel offense back to the field, facing its first deficit since Scarver's kick return made it 7-3 in the infancy of the game. And Charles Williams has been outstanding.
He's starting to creep up on some pretty good numbers.
He's got a shot to pass his former teammate Lexington Lightning Thomas for second in program history. That's in career rushing yards. He has to get to 208 today. Shaq Bond takes him out after about 7.
Well, they should just keep feeding them and feeding them and feeding them. That's the best thing to do if you're UNLV. The #1 formula for stopping the Utah State offense, keep your offense on the field.
Davion McDaniel is at right tackle here. Charles Williams runs out of the first hit. Stutter step a couple of men on the second wave. He's got the first down to the 38, gain of 8. Hunter Reynolds took him out.
How many of his carries tonight have we watched this young man break the first tackle? The first tackles had their shot, but they have not been able to get him. And if you don't get him early, you're going to get a chance to get him late.
Utah State defensive coordinator Ephraim Bonda told his team at the start of camp, you don't tackle, you don't play. Friel steps into it, and he hooks up with Kyle Williams. Pierces Utah State territory. That's 18 yards and a first down. Cash Gilliam the denial.
There's a nice confident throw by Friel. We saw some of those in the second quarter. He airmailed a few early, but he seems really comfortable throwing this ball between the hash marks, John. And he can be really accurate when he steps into it like that.
And Gilliam is limping off the field. He only just came back from a knee injury. Defensive coordinator Ephraim Bonda told us he looked fine in practice. He would be critical to stopping the run, and they are getting gouged by the run, and Gilliam's on the bench. Now Gilliam, who began his collegiate career at Kentucky, hails from Dayton, Ohio, now on the bench. Charles Williams, right on throw. Got hit low by Shaq Bond, tripped up just inside of the 30, gets 15 yards.
Look at this ball. That starts to the right or starts to the left. A quick cut back right into the middle. A defense right now is opening up like a big old oyster for Williams.
The Chuck can chuck, I guess. Those are his numbers coming into tonight in program lore. And he's closing in on that second place spot in yardage. He's got his 13th career 100-yard a game, his third of this season. Play clock dying. Friel gets it off. Charles Williams again, a bulldozer. He will not go down. Justin Rice, the top tackler for the Aggies, had to yank on his jersey several times. 7 hard yards.
And it's all happening in between the tackles. It's an inside run. He's getting at least 4 or 5 yards though right now, until somebody's getting a chance to get that first contact, and the first contact is not even slowing him down.
He is powerful and slippery, and he's closing in on a 200-yard day.
Do the math on that. 19 carries, 181 yards. Yeah.
His career high 186. That was in 19 against San Jose State. Toss play to Charles Williams, who turns it up. Breaks off 2 hits. And he's finally knocked out of bounds by Hunter Reynolds after another first down. It is a career day for the Chuck Wagon. 14 yards.
Charles Williams, only way to say it is he's just feeling it. He's got it going on. Keep feeding him the ball. I believe it was the late, great John McKay that said just keep giving it to him. It's not heavy.
He's got 66 yards on this drive. You can see the deep breaths that he has more than earned. First and goal. Play fake, flip it out in the flat. And nothing there. Killian Nahay, Mendiola Jensen. And Andre Grayson takes him out.
You mentioned Charles Williams breathing heavy. You know who else breathes heavy when you're running the ball like this? Take a look at those defensive linemen. You get a lot of hands on hips, a lot of deep breaths going on by the D linemen, because they can get worn out by this kind of a running game.
Well, remember, they lost Marcus Moore, ejected due to targeting in the early stage of the game. They were thin as it was. Second and goal. Right back to Charles Williams. He gets the blocks, cuts it up, touchdown! UNLV back on top. Charles Williams with a career performance.
What a beautiful concept. You're going to toss it right. You're pulling linemen and H-backs left. The defense gets confused. They get static. And when defense gets static, they get gashed.
And there it is, the Rebel roller. Point after is good.
Needless to say, John, these young men have taken to the Rebel roller, kind of like Charles Williams taken to the fact that they're going to feed him. Tell you, he's got nowhere near a full stomach. He's still eating.
Brent Stover in New York. Caleb Williams, 13 of 15, 261 and 2 scores. This one to Jaden Hazelwood. 4th-ranked Oklahoma at the break, 24-14 on TCU, guys.
Appreciate that, Brent, coming off the comeback against Texas.
Is there a better story at quarterback right now than Caleb Williams and the job that he did? I mean, that's a freshman that did that against Texas last week and is now backing it up, doing it again the following week.
How about Charles Williams, who had more yards rushing on that drive than Utah State has had on the game? Now do you kick to Scarver? They've done it 3 times. A little chipper for the second time. Goes to an up man. Will get a fair catch. And Utah State in this seesaw battle will have the ball once again as they neutralize Scarver.
Did you see Scarver back there when they pushed it? He kind of looked over at the sideline, at the UNLV sideline, like, hey, what? What? You're not going to kick it to me?
He's had 2 big returns already. He's also had 1 touch out of a jet sweep, and you wonder when they might go to him again.
It's something that all coaches, especially offensive-minded coaches, when you've got a returner like that, you've got to have a package to get him the ball in air.
Well, Utah State makes a change in the backfield for the first time. Pailate Makakona is at running back. Tompkins has had a lot of touches. That's his 9th grab, upended by Noel Williams, gets about 4.
Yeah, coming into this game, he's one of the better yardage guys in the FBS, and he's done nothing to hurt his numbers tonight.
Makakona remains the running back. Tyler saw the lion's share early. Gentry got the ball a lot late first half. We've seen some Noah. Bit of a low snap, handled well. There's the first touch for the junior. Division II transfer out of Colorado Mesa. He's about a yard shy of the first, thanks to Adam Plant and Austin Ajike.
Nice as execution there, running a little counter from the backside, pulling both the backside guard and tackle, bringing that thing inside.
3rd in the football. Makakona has the first down. Now, Utah State's last possession, as Windman gets another tackle, was probably the best rushing drive of the day.
And no one will appreciate them running the ball better and running the ball for a while on this possession more than their own defense. That's got to be over there looking at the whiteboards with the markers, trying to figure out how in the heck do we stop Charles Williams.
Logan Bonner, another handoff. Makakona through the first wave, carries Bryce Jackson past the marker and earns the first down.
There's another example of the difference between grabbing and tackling. Good blocking up front. The patience is rewarded. And there's 3 or 4 guys grabbing and finally getting the tackle, but those extra yards cost you when you grab.
First and 10. And whistles a flag down. Our referee, Christian Watson.
Offense, number 74.
John, today was Arms Day.
Christian Watson went viral after the Utah State win over North Dakota. He officiated that game. He appeared on a podcast and told some of his story, where he was dubbed the Bo Jackson of referees. More for his versatility, he also officiates collegiate baseball and basketball in addition to football, and he's jacked. And in the backfield, Makakona gets swarmed. No space. Loss of about 5. Eliel Ehemare leads the charge.
Yeah, and Scott gets there too. How about that on the outside? You get a little support, and then that inside out, that penetration, that getting vertical by the D line finally starts to pay off a little bit on that play. See, when you're going to get vertical, if you're going to get in the backfield going this way, you got to have your teammates with you.
Second down at about 20. UNLV sends 3. That was a low snap. Flag comes out.
And a whistle.
Prior to the play clock expiring, Utah State will take their first charge timeout of the half. 30 seconds.
No penalty on the play.
No timeout, Aggies. Well, Blake Anderson and company talk it over. Utah State has the ball. UNLV has the lead. We take a look at our quarterback comparison brought to you by Sonic.
It's been all about Bonner and his connection with Tompkins. That's been the biggest difference between these two. And Friel has come up at times, but Logan Bonner and his connection with Tompkins has been really impressive. Both quarterbacks started off a little bit strong on their throws, but Friel evened things up, and tell you what, Bonner's really evened things up.
But here's second down and nearly 20.
Look at that at the bottom of the screen. You don't see the old stacked very often.
Makakona to the 41. He gets only a couple. Austin Ajike takes him out there. Third down.
They ran that stacked. You see how soft UNLV got on this near side, the bottom of the screen? They ran the ball inside. They get soft like that again with two blockers. They're going to throw it to Tompkins, who's he's dotting the I. He's the far right receiver.
4 of 7 on third down today. Bonner running for his life, has to throw it away. Had a plant right in his face. Jalen Dixon was there as well. And fourth down, the punt unit trots out.
Yeah, good smart defense by Peter Hansen. If you're going to go to that other side, make him pay. Get into his face, pressure him, leave him nowhere to go with the ball. That's the downside of going away from a 3-receiver stack like that, is you don't have very many guys left you can throw the ball to.
Now Stephen Constantly to punt. Noel Williams fair catch wave. Brings it in just shy of the 20. UNLV back on offense, leading by a field goal, trying to snap a skid and get their first win of the year. The last time UNLV won, November 2019 at Nevada. The coldest battle for the Fremont Canyon on record. 29 degrees at kickoff. Charles Williams, an 80-yard TD. It was 17-0 UNLV, but Nevada tied it up. A Devontae Lee run with a $1:32 to go. And in overtime, Steve Jenkins, a 19-yard touchdown grab. That was the last time UNLV tasted victory. The Rebels have lost 11 in a row since. Can they get their first under Marcus Arroyo? Our PNC Bank game summary. What do you see?
Marcus Arroyo loves teams that finish. He's always been with good offenses, good football teams that knew how to finish. He's got to teach this team how to finish off games, finish off drives, and get his first win.
Charles Williams doesn't have much space. Now explodes through. He has broken 200 yards today. Another first down. Michael Ayonwu trips him up.
John, was that being patient or playing hide and seek? Because he's just running into the back of his line. He's sitting there. It seemed like almost the defense lost track of where he was. And that patience pays off. Gets himself a nice big chunky yards to add to his total.
First Rebel to go for over 200 since Tim Cornette against Air Force in 2013. And incomplete under pressure.
Nice job by Utah State reading that screen, because they wanted to set up that screen to Charles Williams.
212 yards, shattering the career high mark of a $186 from a couple of years ago against San Jose State. It's the third quarter.
Yeah, he's not done.
The slant is open. Flag out. First down as it stands. Tackle from Hunter Reynolds Cash Gilliam also there on Ziel Griffin, the wide receiver.
Was there a grab, or did he just jump at the very snap of the ball? Ball comes out of the side judge's pocket.
The ruling on the field with the ball was caught beyond the line of scrimmage. Pass interference, offense, number 1, 15-yard penalty, and it remains second down.
Kyle Williams creating the pick.
Because it was thrown past the line of scrimmage. That's the main difference. You can have that contact back on your own side of the line of scrimmage. Right there. And that was not subtle. That was pretty blatant. That's going for an ear hole, getting your money's worth. That was a pick.
Chad Magyar subs in at running back. The chuck wagon Charles Williams gets a breather. Friel lets it fly, finds his tight end Shelton Z on the 3rd. Stumbled by Justin Rice, who's had a quiet day by his normal standards. Only a yard, 3rd and 21.
Well, you know the way this game feels, John. So, you know, if I was Rice, I'd be patient, because there are a couple of big plays out there still to come for defenses. The ball's going to be available. The ball's going to be on the ground. And this one is really far from being over.
Rice led all of the FBS in tackles for loss last year at Arkansas State. 3 of 8 on 3rd down today. Friel. That's going to be back to the original line of scrimmage for Magyar. So he gets about 11 back. Johnny Carter stumbles him there. 4th down. Well, the punt unit out. Evan Silva ready to kick, with Jordan Nathan set up as the return man.
Yeah, nice job by Utah State's defense getting UNLV off the field, getting their offense on the field, and getting Bonner and company a chance to put some points up.
And Nathan from his 19. Nice move. And a couple of Rebels arrive and give him harm. Down at the 28, a return of about 9.
That was good for 44 yards.
Now Blake Anderson, head man for Utah State in year 1 with the program.
They'll spot the football.
Hired Anthony Tucker, Paul Jackson, and Ephraim Banda. All men of color representing minority groups that have chances at the highest level to be 2 coordinators and a head strength man. Ephraim Banda, the only man of Hispanic or Latino descent to serve as a defensive coordinator in the FBS currently, and all grateful for the chance. Blake Anderson hired the best men. As that ball, a dangerous one, knocked away by Noel Williams.
Yeah, keep track of some of these defensive plays. We've got a few of those left. You're going to see big plays on the defensive side. Interceptions, fumble recoveries. Just smells like one of those games.
Wrap it up there.
Tyler has no room, easily swung down. Brennan Scott in there, the redshirt freshman.
There's a little bit of a difference. We saw Williams get behind his line and kind of sit there and almost disappear and then burst out. He didn't get a chance to disappear or burst out there.
Each team has found 3rd down a touch wanting. Utah State is 4 of 8 on 3rd down. Tyler goes out wide. Bonner converts on the first. Hooks up again with his man Devin Tompkins having a stellar day. 17 yards.
Tompkins lined up top of the right of the screen there, right in the slot. Goes up about 10 yards, cuts it over, and as soon as he makes that break, that ball is put right on the money by Bonner.
He's got 10 grabs for 171 yards. Elion Noah is in at running back.
And 2 touchdowns.
That's right. Carson Terrell motions. Movement. Ali Ifua at left guard.
Ali Ifua is trying to sell the fact that he was drawn off by the Rebel defense.
False start. Offense. Number 58. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And what's been a bit of a patchwork line, he has started every game the last 3 years. And he thought Malakias had drawn him.
Yeah, I don't think so. But he got his money's worth.
The penalties have thwarted drives on each side. We've had some explosive plays for scores, but the drives have been a touch more staggered, not as rhythmic. Noah able to slice through, and he barrels into it, carries a couple of defenders. Noel Williams and Bryce Jackson along for the ride, and flag down.
Flag down, and if that's a face mask, it's going to go on top.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense. Number 24. 50-yard penalty added to on the run. And automatic. First down.
Yeah, you see an offense stopping themselves, and now the defense makes a mistake. They don't tackle, and then they get hit on that face mask. Wasn't much of a face mask, but there was a tug, and the head turns. It's a real tell for the officials. If you're Utah State, do not put the ball in danger.
We are through 3 quarters of play. Utah State on the drive. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico. College football presented by Geico. 4th quarter, 24-21. Winless UNLV has the lead. Our Geico difference makers. What a night for Devin Tompkins.
Yeah, Devin Tompkins, who I would get the ball here in this situation. And then Charles Williams, when UNLV gets back on the field, keep feeding him the ball, period. That's your offense.
Play fake, Bonner to keep. He caught UNLV by surprise. Stiff arm guided out of bounds by Bryce Jackson. Bonner showing he can rumble. He had been slowed by a bum wheel and a bruised leg after a helmet hit in the infancy of the year, 9 yards.
Yeah, it was a 10-yard surprise. Nice little run there by Bonner.
He had hyperextended his knee 2 weeks ago in their last game against BYU. And Gentry trying to slither for space. Austin Ajike is there to meet him. Where do they spot it?
About a half a yard short.
Do you put in 2 plays here?
Oh, I think they've already got 2 plays in.
They're 4 of 8 on 3rd down. They won't need it. Gentry gets the first, and he got yanked around the face mask up top. Brennan Scott there on the denial, 1st down.
He's also not a very big dude, so you can get your body sort of snatched by a big defender pretty easily.
Listed at 5'10", 190. Brennan Scott is 6'1", 235.
Tompkins in the slot, bottom of the screen. Right there.
Play fake. Bonner, left side tip ball, incomplete. Active hands up front.
Nice job. Just get those hands up. If you can't get pressure, be an impediment.
And Bryce Jackson got the hands up. Tompkins slot right. On the RPO run, Gentry has not a whole lot. Flag late. Adam Plant slowed him at the 16, gain of a yard.
Is there any face mask here at the end? Nope. Didn't seem like a hold on a block.
Block in the back. Offense, number 13. That 10-yard penalty to be a first from the end of the run. They'll never settle down.
Devin Tompkins, that whole time, Blake Anderson vehemently hand motioning and mouthing face mask from the sideline.
Coming from the right side, right there. Devin Tompkins from his slot position. Getting that shot on the safety, Jackson.
So here's another case, Randy, where penalty has severely injured a drive. This has happened to both teams. What's the ramification here? What are you looking for the Aggies?
Well, obviously they're in field goal range, so they've got that going for them. But Tompkins, their big play guy.
Bonner fires, too tall for Tompkins. Tompkins thought that he was interfered with by Aaron Lewis.
Bonner sure as heck wasn't going to hold that ball very much longer. He takes a pretty good shot there.
Tavis Malakias in the backfield. Remember, the kicker Connor Coles missed from 52, fairly well short earlier in the game.
Yeah, it was pretty short. This is in his range, if need be.
As it stands, it would be about 43 from the current line of scrimmage. Third down and 19. Play clock down. He just gets it off. And Gentry's got nothing. Adam Plant is there with help from his friends.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. Blake Anderson's defense or offense tries to run it through the left side, gets a little bit on the trickier side. And man, that UNLV defense of Marcus Arroyo wasn't having any of that.
So a 44-yard field goal try from Connor Coles to tie the game. Coles wide right. He misses it. And UNLV has the lead in the fourth.
Yeah, the Rebels are feeling it, John. It's been a while since they won, lost 11 straight. But I think they smell one here.
Brent Stover in New York, another good one in the Mountain West tonight. Air Force, Brad Roberts with a touchdown run. They are tied with Boise State at 7. Start of the second quarter. John Sadak and Randy Cross.
Well, thank you, Brent. Broncos have won the last 4. Air Force trying to go 6-1 for the first time since 2002. Their loss came against Utah State, which has had plenty of chances today, and you can understand the head-down look.
Every time they've gotten across the 50-yard line, it seems they've tried to stop themselves.
Oh, Charles Williams, who can hardly be stopped on the day, lassoed down by Byron Vaughns.
Yeah, at this point, it's not real complicated. You've got a young quarterback in Friel who's thrown some pretty good balls, but, man, your offensive line up front is doing a good job of blocking. And Charles Williams, the first guy, the second guy, and sometimes the third guy, he won't let them tackle him. He's got a good view of it too, coming out of that pistol, that deep pistol position behind the quarterback.
Another handoff to Charles Williams. He's able to hold on to the ball. Philip Paella and A.J. Vongpachong combined to bring him down. Third down at about 3.
Well, there's a name, Vongpachong, we haven't called much since the very beginning of this football game.
And third down and 3. UNLV just 3 of 9 on third down today. Toss to Williams, and he gets cut down. Only a yard, 4th down and 2.
Now there's a good job of playing the game on the other side of the line of scrimmage. We've seen Williams gash this defense innumerable times, but right there in a good spot, Coach Arroyo sees his running back get smacked on about a yard from the line of scrimmage.
UNLV has not beaten Utah State since 2008. Hasn't beaten anyone since the end of November 2019. It's the 5th punt of the day for UNLV. And it's nearly blocked. Evan Silva just got that off. Fair catch wave comes late. Brought in by Jordan Nathan at about his 25. That was close.
That's kind of one of the things that was missing, John. We've seen a kick return for a touchdown. We've seen a punt return for 20 yards. We haven't seen a block kick yet.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Midas, open since 1956. And by Kid Kat. Have a break. Have a Kid Kat.
Perhaps the debut of the Rebel Roller has brought some good luck to the sidelines of UNLV, trying to snap the second longest active losing skid in the FBS. The lead in the 4th, but Utah State the ball, and on the year, Utah State has been great in 4th quarters. Bonner too tall at all. What contact! No, Williams bringing the harm.
Yeah, and immediately Bonner's tapping on his chest. That's the quarterback's signal for that one's on me.
Well, Utah State has outscored its foes 61-30 in the 4th. All 3 wins have been thrillers in come from behind fashion, twice down double digits in the 4th. And there is Winman. Jacoby Winman having a career day, 13 tackles.
Full quarter to go. He can sneak up on 20 by the time this thing's done. And just fills up, coming up. He was dropped about 5 yards off the line of scrimmage, just filling up and making that play in the backfield. He is for all the missed tackles we've seen tonight, we've seen a sure tackle in Vindman.
Here you see the comebacks they've had this year. Trailed in the 4th at Washington State, at Air Force, won them both. Edge pressure from the far side, they pick it up. Bonner, deep shot, looking for Tompkins, knocked away. Outstanding coverage by Cameron Oliver, disrupts as the ball arrives.
Remember we had a play earlier where Tompkins went up and he was the only one looking at the ball.
Offense, number 51. That penalty declined. The pass was incomplete. 4th down.
Yeah, you get a penalty like that, you might as well just say no and let him go ahead and try it. He's trying to go back up over the top again. He just can't get up over the top of the DB. That's his main problem. Really nice job by Oliver, sort of getting his arms up and impeding him and not letting him through.
UNLV, the longest punt return for a touchdown drought in the country. Flags on the snap. They haven't had a punt return for a touchdown in 20 years.
Ball start. Offense, number 39. 5-yard penalty. Makes 4th down.
And Blake Anderson working the sidelines hard here. We've seen a 100-yard kick return for a touchdown by the Aggies' Savon Scarver.
Please just set the game clock to 9:44. 9-4-4.
4 more seconds on the game clock. What could Noel Williams offers? Both of these teams came off byes, Randy. Both were very self-critical with that free week.
Yeah, and all these jumps by Utah State, you got to wonder is Las Vegas yelling a little something, some sort of signals making them jump?
Excellent hang time of the punt, forces a fair catch wave. No chance for Noel Williams' return, but outstanding field position. Winless UNLV with the ball and a field goal lead. Nothing beats Vegas at night. 24-21, UNLV has the lead. Our coverage of college football wraps with another Mountain West battle. Hawaii faces the Nevada Wolfpack right here on CBS Sports. Head your way next. Last Saturday night, they took on New Mexico State. They hung 55 on the board, most versus an FBS foe in 4 years, and Carson Strong led the way. Career high 6 touchdowns, one off the program record, 377 yards. He can sling it.
Yeah, big, strong arm quarterback that can be really accurate at times, too.
And they were the preseason favorites in the division, not San Diego State. San Diego State having a great year, survived San Jose State last night. Play fake Friel, dangerous ball, incomplete. And looking for Kyle Williams, but there were defenders right there, including Cash Gilliam.
Yeah, we keep talking about the potential big plays from the defensive side. Passes like that will produce some of those big defensive plays.
And that was the kryptonite for Friel in the start against UTSA. He had a good day, over 300 yards, but 2 picks and a lost fumble, got sacked 6 times. Charles Williams now second in school history. He has passed his former teammate, Lexington Lightning Thomas, the all-time rush list. Friel doesn't feel the backside pressure. Hit as he throws, intercepted. Jump by Shaq Bond and picked off. It's Utah State football.
And can Utah State take advantage of that?
And Friel is slow to get up. He did not feel Nick Henninger coming from behind.
Yeah, Nick Henninger, too, is just steaming. There's 42. Watch him come behind him. That was a face-first plant.
And remember that UNLV's primary quarterback, a redshirt freshman, Doug Brumfield, is injured and not playing this week. Friel is the primary backup. They only just got Tate Martell back from plantar fasciitis. We've seen him on one play. We've not seen Justin Rogers, the TCU transfer.
And Justin Rogers was, if something was to happen to Friel, was going to be the quarterback to come in. The package guy would be Martell.
And Friel putting almost no weight on that left foot. Now there is number 5, Justin Rogers. They're taking another look. Called on the field a pick. Does that ball hit turf at all? Well, that's not a good sign for Friel, a tough young man out of Hawaii. Now Rogers brings more beef. He's 6'4", 240. Came off the bench and threw a touchdown, his only play in the fourth quarter to make it a one-score game in their last game. Tate Martell also loosens.
One more time. Ball, arms. Oh, I don't know. Did the arms stay under it? Don't know if there's going to be enough definitive to tell exactly what that is. If you stop it right when it gets to the ground, just keep going, stop it there. Right there. It looks like, but it's hard to say. Short of having a camera right down there, right in it, I don't know what you can tell, why you would say that was overturnable, because the hands sure look like they'd snatched the ball.
And Shaq Bond, as it stands, his 6th career pick He returned his first 100 yards for a score against New Mexico. That was back in 2018. Will this stand as an interception?
Can't tell much from that angle. Well, that's the value of having those gloves. It's hard to tell what's glove, what's ball, and where the ground comes into that.
If it did get overruled, that was second down, so it would be 3rd down and 10, UNLV at its 40. Or is it Utah State ball on the pick?
I mean, the hands were underneath it. I can't see if it's so blatant that they'd have to overturn that.
And listen to the language. If it's still an interception, is it confirmed or does it stand?
After further review, the call on the field stands. First down, Utah State.
So there wasn't definitive evidence to overturn. They could not definitively confirm that it was a pick, but they couldn't say that it was not. So it's Utah State ball. Both Martell and Rogers are warming. But Bonner's on the field. That's 8 turnovers by UNLV this year, all by quarterbacks. That's 5 picks and 3 fumbles from the quarterback position.
Yeah, that is a really strange sort of stat. It's a fact, but
stretch look for Tompkins getting a carry here, Randy. Gets a couple of yards.
Well, UNLV's done a good job here the last quarter or so of keeping him in check, mirroring him pretty well. Why not try to do some different things with him and get him the ball?
It's only his 2nd rush of the year. Field goal game. Tyler, nothing. And there is Windman again. Jacoby Windman has been everywhere.
When Windman reads a play and closes, man, does he close. He's got a great defensive burst to the ball. And he runs right through a tackle when he does it.
He's got 15 tackles. Utah State 6 of 12 on 3rd down. What do you dial up?
Whatever it is, you're very careful with the ball. I know that if you're Bonner. They've got it now because of a turnover. Worst case scenario, you punt here.
Wide splits up front, play fake. Bonner steps into a throw. Dangerous ball, go up and get it. Justin McGriff. And that's no catch. Incomplete. Aaron Lewis was there.
Incomplete pass. 4th down.
Yeah, it looked like the question wasn't did he get up there and get it. The question was did he come down with it. Ball's a little high. He has it initially. I'm not sure. I don't know. That looked pretty good, John.
And Utah State has already called 1 timeout. They send their punt unit out.
The ruling of the catch under further review.
And they're going to take another look.
Yeah, I mean, he really gets up there. He grabs it. And what's he do with the ball? Does he wrap it up? Okay, now he has it. Don't see the ball on the ground. Got it. Got it. Can't be ripped away. Okay, he's got the ball in his hands. Let's see if it hits the ground when he hits the ground. It hits the ground, but his hand's underneath it. That's a catch. And a pretty dang amazing catch, I must say, the way he goes up and gets that.
That would put the ball at the 38. That would be good for a 1st down at his first catch of the day. Young man who began his collegiate career at Nebraska, was at ASA College in Miami, a junior college in between, arriving with Utah State.
See, that right hand is under the ball, and I can't tell if that ball moves much, if at all. He's got it with both hands when he's in the air, and when he comes down, the right hand is under the ball.
Well, the call on the field incomplete. We had a review that allowed the pick to stand for Shaq Bond. We have had 4 lead changes in this game. We have not had a score in the fourth quarter on either side yet.
Now, unlike that other one, the last one, I think you see enough there that you can overturn the no catch call. Because he's got it there, and his right hand is under the ball. And when he comes down, you see it from that back angle even better. When he comes down, the hand is under the ball. I think it's a catch.
That's what Justin McGriff says. If this is a catch, this is first down Utah State, the drive alive and in UNLV territory.
Did you see that reaction from Arroyo? I think they just told him it's a catch.
After further review, replay determined the receiver caught the ball. It'll be a first down, 32-yard line.
Well, this Aggies team that has thrived in fourth quarters, that began the year 3-0 with 3 thrilling comeback wins, has this drive alive at the UNLV 42. It looks like they're going to spot it.
Remember, John, this is the time of the game and the part of the field that Utah State has started to back up a little bit. Anderson's offense has had some problems kind of finishing drives going forward. They finished some drives going backwards, but they've had penalties, they've had jumps, they've had offsides, they fumbled snaps.
And when they were self-critical and looked at their own critical mistakes this week, finishing drives was a paramount concern. Tyler has room. And he gives up some yards trying to sidestep. If he had cut up field, he probably gets an extra couple. Bryce Jackson, though, cuts him down at the 38.
You know, he's got the quickness, he's got the scoots. Just go forward. You might only gain 4 or 5 yards, but going sideways, all that does is get you caught.
Oh, 2nd and 6. A lot of chatter in the UNLV defense. They go back to Tyler. And Tyler runs out of the first hit. He carries Austin Ajike and plunges for the first to the 28-yard line, a gain of 8. Phillip Hill in there as well.
Nice job executing. Good combination blocks up front. And Tyler does a wonderful job of following those blocks and keeping those pads low and running behind them.
They have nearly doubled up UNLV in first downs. The run game has exploded in this fourth quarter. Right back to Tyler. Not a whole lot there. Ehimare, part of the duo to knock him back. No gain. Well, time ticks. And Utah State with 2 timeouts. UNLV might be down its quarterback. Frio showed a significant limp when he left the field after the pick.
A lot of hands on hips right now by UNLV. When you can start getting an effective running game, that'll happen.
Do you play action? You've established so much run. Can he take a shot?
Tompkins in the slot, top of the screen.
Play fake. Bonner harassed, running for his life, and Bonner tumbles down. He's going to lose a yard. 3rd and 11.
Yeah, there was nowhere to go. In case you were curious, as Bonner started scrambling, all 3 of his receivers were between the 5-yard line and the end zone, and they all had company. So there was nowhere to even try to fit a ball into for Bonner as that protection collapsed.
3rd and 11. Tyler trying to stretch it out, cuts it up. Hammered down at the 23, gain of 6, 4th and 5. What do you do? It looks like kick unit goes out.
You get the kick unit out here.
Tyler slow to get up.
You give your guy another chance to get himself a field goal. The UNLV defense was bringing some violence towards Tyler on that last run. Yeah, look at Tyler. He's tapping on his head like he took a blow to the head, trying to draw attention to the officials.
Well, Coles has missed from 52 short, from 44 wide right.
Way right, by the way.
He had entered today 8 of 10, including a 52-yard make against BYU. Now Tyler on his feet. He has been gutsy and creative in this 4th quarter.
And this facility is beautiful, and I gotta think it's a kicker's dream to be in here. No wind, artificial surface, just a matter of hitting it. And that one was short. That one was about half an upright left or right.
UNLV has 3 timeouts if they want to freeze it.
You missed right. Do you pull it left?
From 41, blocked! A blocked field goal! Coles is 0 for 3 on kicks, and UNLV leads by 3 with under 5 minutes remaining.
Great job by the UNLV block team. Did you see them all put their hands up in the air, telling everybody, don't touch it, don't go near it. That comes from the inside. Oh, what a nice job blocking that thing. And then they're all telling each other, get away from the ball. One short, one right, one stuffed.
Tonight's player of the game brought to you by Old Trapper Beef Jerky, Charles Williams.
Charles Williams was the key to the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter. So far the night for UNLV. And if UNLV is going to win this game, 8's got to eat.
5 is on the field. Justin Rogers at quarterback. Cameron Friel seemingly injured on the pick on UNLV's last offensive play. They lose a couple of yards here with Williams. A.J. Bongpachong in there.
I mean, it's no mystery. Utah State knows it. Everybody playing defense for Utah State knows it. Everybody in the stands here in Las Vegas knows it.
Charles Williams is going to get the ball. UNLV trying to snap the second longest active losing streak in the FBS.
And Rogers has to take care of the ball when he's not handing it to Williams.
Charles Williams stood up at the 26, gets 3. It'll be 3rd and 8. Bongpachong again. A blocked field goal, the first for UNLV in a couple of years, gave the Rebels this possession. Rogers, a big guy, transfer from TCU, came off the bench, 4th down, 4th quarter, threw a 9-yard touchdown to Ziel Griffin against UTSA. Split backfield, wide receiver Kyle Williams and Charles Williams. To Kyle Williams, hit as he makes the grab, contact from Shaq Bond, 4th down.
Yeah, nice job by Bond. He is right there, and as soon as that ball is thrown, he just runs right through the UNLV receiver.
Well, Marcus Arroyo Sees the punt return unit out there for Utah State. Evan Silva nearly had his last punt blocked. It was close.
Well, Coach Arroyo knows the first one's not going to be easy. The first one you're going to have to earn. And there's 3 minutes left in this one till he can get his first win.
Jordan Nathan picks it up from his 30. And loops backward to lose some yardage. Utah State has had a slew of close games. September the 4th, Washington State down 23-11 late fourth quarter. Calvin Tyler, 2-yard touchdown run, brought them within 2. 13 seconds left. Logan Bonner to Devin Tompkins for the win, 26-23 against Air Force. Down 11 in the 4th, 72 yards. Andrew Peasley, the backup to Devin Tompkins, made it a 3-point game. And then Calvin Tyler, 61-yard run with under 4 minutes to go. The Aggies took a high-scoring thriller, 49-45.
So they know they've got it, and they know they have it in them. That is such a confidence booster as a football team, especially as an offense. When you know you can sort of snatch a win away from somebody else late in the game.
Play fake to Elion Noah. Bonner steps up and runs. He's hit and he's dropped. And that was the man that got the field goal block, Tavis Malakias. Gain of about 5. 2.5, clock rolling, 2 timeouts. What's your thought on time here?
I think they're fine on time. I think you just sort of do your thing. You've got 2 timeouts.
Austin Ajike on the stop. Part of their thing, though, of late has been far more run than pass.
That's because it's been working so well with Tyler.
And here they have Elion Noah in the backfield still. Time ticking.
You've got 2 downs here, John. It's 3rd and 2. If you don't get it here on 3rd down, you're going to go for it on 4th.
Edge pressure. Windham into the backfield. Bonner flips it out to Tompkins. Has to make a man miss, and he does. Ankle tackled, brought down shy of the 1st. What a tackle by Phillip Hill.
Yeah, it's going to be 4th and not even a full yard.
A giant 4th down.
What a beautiful double back, because he missed him the first time and came back and got him the second time.
Utah State has been money on 4th down this season, has struggled today.
Can the inside of this UNLV defense play this play on the other side of the line of scrimmage?
Noah to the line, and he's got it. Able to battering ram just enough. So the drive alive, 2 timeouts, clock frozen as they move the chains and spot the ball. Coles has missed twice and had 1 blocked.
Don't stop now.
They're 20 yards away from field goal range.
Off the play fake. Into UNLV territory, Cameron Oliver there to get Tompkins after 9.
There's 9 of that 20 yards. Good protection for Bonner. Good throw by Bonner.
30 seconds.
We get a called timeout from Utah State, under a minute. Welcome back. What a wild one at Las Vegas. 4 lead changes, no scoring on either side of the 4th quarter. It's a field goal affair. Utah State has 1 timeout, 2nd and 2 at the UNLV 41, and their normally steady kicker, Connor Coles, has had a horrendous day.
Well, he had 1 short, he had 1 well right, and then he had 1 stuffed, 1 blocked. So you got to think they've got to get at least to the 30-yard line to give him a 47-yard try.
Elion Noah in the backfield. Bunch trips left. Off the play fake. Bonner. Right side caught. Derek Wright able to spin, face, and bring it home. 1st down. Aaron Lewis helped him out of play. 16 yards.
Well within field goal range now. There's a 42-yard field goal if you want it. You don't need it yet. You got plenty of time. 49 seconds to go.
If you're UNLV, do you start thinking about timeouts?
Well, you've got all 3.
Off the play fake, Bonner. Right back to Derek Wright, and he's helped out of bounds gets past the marker. That's another first. Ajike helped him out of play.
You know, that big catch by McGriff and all those catches by Tompkins, kind of a cumulative effect, because they've lost track of everybody but those two guys.
They got 14 yards. Now they're in the red zone, where head coach Blake Anderson said they were self-critical this week. They need to use all of their weapons and be more creative.
And don't stop yourself. Don't back up.
Bonner, end zone, tip ball, incomplete. Looking for Brandon Bowling, and Bryce Jackson knocked it loose. Massive personnel change here for UNLV as they brought on a whole new front.
Just want to get something to get a little heat on Bonner.
Utah State started 3-0, then lost back-to-back games in unimpressive fashion. UNLV is winless, but has played progressively better each week. The run, end zone, touchdown, Elion Noah, the 5th lead change of the game. Utah State on top with 35 seconds to go.
Remember that line change up front on defense? They're thinking rush. Utah State's thinking a little delay inside, little fold over block inside, little kick out. Nice job by Dolphin coming around, making the key block. Beautiful play call by Blake Anderson's offense.
Elion Noah's first touchdown of the year, and a key point after. That makes it a 4-point game. Elion Noah, 11-yard touchdown run to cap off a 2-minute, 11-second, 9-play, 60-yard drive. Utah State ahead with the first score of the fourth quarter.
And what seems like one of the first times tonight, Utah State didn't stop itself at any point during that drive once they got in plus territory. No negative plays. And it pays off with 6 points and a 4-point lead with 35 seconds to go. Now UNLV has 3 timeouts.
And their third-string quarterback. And they want no chance at a true return man. Chad Magyar tries to take a bent knee beyond the threshold of the 25. So 3 timeouts, 35 seconds. After Logan Bonner steered the ship on that go-ahead fourth quarter drive, all 3 of their wins entering this game had been thrillers, come from behind fashion. 2 of them they trailed by double digits in the fourth. So here's the offense for Marcus Arroyo and UNLV. The program winless since the finale of 2019 before Arroyo arrived. And Justin Rogers remains at quarterback. Friel still banged up. And not Charles Williams, but Magyar in the backfield. They need to throw. The blitz is on. And Rogers is down, sacked by Hunter Reynolds. Reynolds became a starter when they lost perhaps their best defender, Dom Tatum, for the year due to injury.
Playing soft and off and coverage, nowhere to go with the ball, and Rogers' protection breaks down to boot.
And there's Friel. Noticeable limp. UNLV, 2nd and 16, ball on the 19. Justin Rogers out of the gun. Rogers brought down again. Another sack. Jalen Bannerman. And flags down.
Rogers tackled for a loss.
For those of you tuning in for Hawaii, Nevada, you'll be able to find that online, cbssports.com/CBSSN, as soon as it kicks off. And, of course, we'll get you out there when this game wraps up.
There is no foul for face mask. Third down, UNLV. Timeout on the field. UNLV, the second charge of the half, 30 seconds.
Now, UNLV has one timeout now. What do you do?
You keep doing what you're doing, but you get the ball out of your hands if you're Rogers. I mean, you can't keep holding it. You just got to get it out. You've got to get one of your guys a chance to make a play for you.
And there is a silence to the stadium. UNLV had held the lead for a large chunk of time. Utah State just surged ahead. The fifth scoring change we've had in the game. UConn won today, its first win in 722 days. They had been tied with UNLV for the second longest active losing streak in major college football. Arizona fell again to Colorado. They have lost 18 in a row. Let's see if Marcus Arroyo can avoid a 12th straight loss. Hawaii, Nevada is underway. Available cbssports.com/CBSSN. We'll get you out there as soon as this is over. Motion from Steve Jenkins. Rogers, 24 seconds. Throws incomplete. Looking for Jenkins.
Fourth down. Got to have something. Got to get a first.
They've got to get to the 35 plus. Just beyond the 35. And circumstances have totally silenced their most impressive weapon, the chuck wagon.
Yeah,
can't do anything here.
Yeah, it's no good. Up until that last big play for the touchdown by Utah State, it was their best weapon.
Gilliam showing blitz. They only send 4. Stunt is on. Rogers steps up, hammered as he throws. It was caught. It's bobbled. It's settled. It's intercepted. Shaq Bond had the football, and now emotion spilling some on each side. And Shaq Bond in celebration. Now the officials converge. Is it incomplete? Is it a pick? Doesn't much matter. It was fourth down.
It almost looked like, as he caught it, it was ripped out. It was being caught. That ball was ripped out and went right straight up into the air.
Here's the word.
Ruling on the field an interception. First down, Utah State.
Catch. Going to the ground.
Is
down.
he down?
He's down.
Now the ruling on the field is a pick.
It's a pick. They're going to review this, and I think they're going to reverse it. He was clearly down. That hip came down and hit the ground.
And that would mean first down, 10 seconds, 1 timeout. And a chance at what? Maybe a couple of plays, maybe 3?
More than likely 2.
And the Utah State offense is set to come out. They are raucously celebrating.
Well, it all depends on replay upstairs.
And they have given the go sign for Utah State to snap the ball. They are not taking a look, apparently.
Well, it's victory formation.
And Marcus Arroyo wondering, how is that not getting a second look?
I mean, that looked like clearly a catch, down, then ripped out.
And you got to think Marcus Arroyo calling timeout to ask. Talks with our referee, Christian Watson.
UNLV will challenge the ruling of a catch. Previous plays on a further review.
And there you go.
Yeah, so go ahead and challenge it. Why not? Okay, there's the catch. Is he down? Now he's down. Then the ball's out. I don't know, John. Maybe it's just me, but I think that's pretty clear.
I'm there with you.
I think that's a catch. I think he's down when that hip hits the ground right there. The ball comes out. Everything that happens after the right hip hits the ground. Right there. The ball's not out. Now it's out. You know, we got to see if is the ball moving. Is it loose now? No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. He's down. That hip is down. That's a catch, a first down, and UNLV ball. Nope, it's still in. He's still got it. It hasn't been ripped out yet. Now it's been ripped out.
After further review, replay has confirmed the call in the field of the interception.
Wow.
UNLV be charged on third and final timeout of the half.
And that's going to do it. That's going to mean Utah State could just take a snap. UNLV without timeouts is powerless to stop the passage of time. And Utah State is going to get its 4th win of the year, its 2nd in league play. And to make it 3 straight wins on the road, while UNLV will fall to 0-6 and see its losing streak extended to 12 consecutive games.
I guess the story is there was nothing so blatantly obvious that they couldn't overturn it. I would beg to differ, rather blatantly.
So that turnover sets up the kneel down. Utah State wins its 6th in a row over UNLV. Marcus Arroyo's Rebels have lost 12 straight games. For the Hall of Famer Randy Cross and our entire CBS crew, I'm John Sadak saying good life from Las Vegas. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Now to Reno, Hawaii at Nevada.